History remembers kings and emperors, but often forgets those who carried the weight of victory without a crown. This is the story of Alice Varro, a Roman general whose courage saved thousands, yet whose name faded from memory. The Roman Empire trembled on the edge of collapse. Marble palaces cracked while distant borders burned. Legions once feared across the world were now thin, unpaved, and tired. Beyond the Rhine river, a storm of tribes gathered. Vandals, Alans, Suebi, hungry for Roman lands. The Rhine froze solid, turning nature itself into a bridge for invasion. Panic spread through Gaul faster than news could travel. In Mogontiacum, a vulnerable frontier city, people looked to a single man for hope, Varro. Varro was no senator. He was a soldier forged by decades of battle. At 43, his hair streaked with gray, but his resolve sharper than steel. He had marched deserts, crossed mountains, and fought wars Rome had already forgotten. Now, standing on battered city walls, he saw a horizon filled with enemy fire. Orders came from Rome: hold the city at all costs. Yet no reinforcements followed. Supplies dwindled. Soldiers whispered about desertion. Civilians feared slaughter, but Varro refused to abandon them. We are Rome, he told his men, and Rome does not run from war. Night after night, he walked the walls, calling each guard by name. Every step echoed with determination, even as frost bit through worn sandals. In the distance, enemy war drums thundered, a reminder of what awaited below. At dawn, Varro looked over the city below. Help isn't coming, he whispered. We must save ourselves. Dawn broke cold and pale, revealing enemy banners fluttering across the frozen horizon. Varro gathered his captains. We cannot outnumber them, but we can outthink them. They studied every alley, rooftop, and gate, turning the city itself into a weapon. Civilians carried stones to the walls. Children fetched water, and blacksmiths worked without rest. Even fear became fuel for unity. That night, torches glowed beyond the river. The tribes were moving. Varro climbed the highest tower. From there, he could see them, thousands. The city bell rang, not for panic but for purpose. Every wall is a shield, every roof a fortress, Varro told his soldiers. When the enemy charged, arrows rained from above, and hidden pits flamed the first wave. Hours stretched like years. Smoke darkened the winter sky. Varro fought at the front, sword flashing, his cloak torn and blooded. Beside him, farmers turned fighters held spears with shaking hands but unshaken hearts. The tribes pushed harder, scaling ladders, breaking gates, forcing their way in. Streets turned to traps, boiling water poured, carts overturned. Varro was everywhere, rallying men, rescuing the wounded, shouting orders above the roar. Yet by nightfall, the walls still stood, though the defenders were exhausted. The tribes retreated to regroup, but the city knew they would return at dawn. Varro sat alone on the battlement, blood on his hands, not all of it his own. He whispered to the cold wind, if we fall tomorrow, may we fall as Romans. Night cloaked the city, but Varro stayed awake, sharpening his blade by the glow of a torch. He gathered a small group of volunteers, men who knew they might not return. We strike first, Varro said quietly. We will draw them away so others can live. One young soldier, Marcus, swallowed hard. What if we fail? Then we fail buying time, Varro answered, and time is life. As the city slept, the small band slipped through a hidden gate. The enemy camp glowed with fires and drunken laughter, unaware death was coming. They attacked like shadows, cutting ropes, burning supplies, slashing through guards. Chaos erupted. War horns blared. Tribes stumbled in confusion, thinking a full army had come. In the city, Marcus led civilians out through dark forest paths. Behind them, flames rose high as Varro and his men fought a battle they knew they couldn't win. One by one, they fell until Varro stood alone, sword shaking, but still raised. With his last strength, he toppled a flaming cart into enemy ranks. Then silence, thick, heavy final. Far away, survivors watched the horizon glow, read, and knew what it meant. Days later, reinforcements arrived to find Mogontiacum burned, its walls blackened. No statue bore Varro's name, but whispers told of a general who saved the city by giving his life. Children who survived that night grew up telling their own children of his courage. True greatness is not measured by monuments, but by the lives protected in silence. Be the kind of person whose actions echo long after your name is forgotten.